Hello the channel, welcome back guys. Thanks again everyone for watching. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all enjoying midweek. I'm just, Bake Off was brilliant, yeah, superb. If you watched the last video, there was a wee bit of a chat with the wife. Got 5 out of 5 starters for Real Madrid. We get to watch Real Madrid and I got 4. Modric came on, they were garbage, who cares? Bake Off was brilliant. Can't beat a soggy bottom. Anyways, on to Sorare stuff. Format for today's video is a weekend preview, so we're going to be looking ahead at all the fixtures for the weekend. I'm going to give you the lowdown on the Celtic lineup, and we are going to be making some team selections as well for the weekend. I've got it up extra early just because I'm actually going away on vacation tomorrow, so hopefully all the information is available for people ASAP. Put myself up in a new place on the screen as well. Try to find a corner that's not interfered with things moving about, etc. So there we go. So first and foremost, preview for obviously the games themselves. Had a quick chat about this in the last video, but we'll have a look and we'll probably break it down into each different division. So Shanghai SIP 3.75 XG, 50% clean sheet percentage. Not a licensed team, but do have quite a few classic cards kicking about in contender. Got Bodo Glimt there as well, who again have guys like Evgen, Hogga, Bjorkan. Borussia Dortmund against Bochum, so unusual to see them that high up, but pretty good fixture for them. They do play Celtic in Champions League on Tuesday as well, so interested to see what happens with things like rotations, etc. Galatasaray up there top of the challenger side of things, 2.75 XG, 43% clean sheet percentage. Usually for a really good clean sheet percentage, I'm looking for sort of 50% or above, but high 40s still pretty good. Chengdu are also a Chinese team. PSV against Film Tway, we'll come back to that in a wee minute. So I'm going to give a wee particular focus to Challenger because obviously got the Eredivisie special coming up as well, but 2.71 XG, not the highest clean sheet percentage. They do tend to leak some goals from time to time. The Sporting against Estoril there as well, give 55% clean sheet percentage is much more like it. 20 against NEC Breda. 20 did pretty well in the Eredivisie the last time, which was good. They've got a Man United game midweek, or just as we speak tonight. So that's going to be a tough one for them. So interesting to see how they react to that and what the result is. Benfica against Gil Vicente. I mean, Benfica looked a lot better, which was great. We've got Arsenal there against Leicester, so they'll be, top of the English Premier League fixtures, and 59% clean sheet percentage. So that's about as high as you'll see really in the EPL, and they do have a proper world class defence. You'd imagine they should take a few goals off Leicester, but Odegaard's missing, etc. We'll see how that all shapes up. Porto again, 2.5 XG and 59% clean sheet percentage, really high. We've got Celtic there as well. So let's break it down into the different regions. Firstly, we'll go for Challenger so that we can have a wee chat about the Eredivisie special, which I'm not playing myself, but a lot of people will do. So PSV 20, really good fixtures there. We've got Ajax against RKC, so that's more of an outside one, which is unusual to say for Ajax, but they haven't really been pulling up any cheese in all honesty. Feyenoord a bit further down, so NEC, they only got 38%, 39% clean sheet percentage, but still 2 XG, so that's you'll still expect to score a couple of goals, so still sort of all to play for there in terms of the special. I think AZ, a bit more of a tough one against Utrecht. Utrecht are pretty handy. Getting 1.484 XG and 41% clean sheet percentage is not really that bad. Out with that, Galatasaray, Sporting. So, I think the other thing to point out is a lot of the big PSV cards will win the specials. So, if you do have a Galatasaray stack, you do have a Sporting Lisbon stack, or you've got Benfica players, this might, or Porto actually, with 59% clean sheet percentage, this might be the weekend to play them, because a lot of the cards naturally for the in-season particular will go into the special. We'll have a look at Champion as well. So we've got Borussia Dortmund, who we mentioned earlier. Arsenal, really solid fixture for them. Monaco against Montpellier, interesting one again. Monaco in the Champions League as well, so need to anticipate maybe a wee bit of rotation, but 2.43 XG is pretty good. Leipzig against Augsburg. Leipzig are going to be playing Celtic in a few weeks, so that's kind of interesting. Again, a team who tend to score a few goals but don't always keep clean sheets. Liverpool have been pretty good. I mean, the thing with Liverpool is maybe not playing the old swashbuckling style that Klopp played, but they're a bit more pragmatic in terms of the defence, keeping clean sheets. Kelleher saved them a bit, but at the end of the day, that's the stuff you need for an SO5 win, I guess. Paris Saint-Germain against Rennes. Again, Paris Saint-Germain are quite hard to call. Got Bayern Munich against Leverkusen. That's an absolutely superb fixture. But again, Bayern Munich, 2.25 XG is good, but 26% clean sheet percentage is really, really low. So goals expected there. Milan, Barcelona, pretty good fixtures. Man City against Newcastle, who haven't been firing, and Roma and Napoli have good clean sheet percentages, as do teams like Inter. So all pretty interesting. In terms of contender, so we have got Shanghai, Bodo and Chengdu, but they're not actually licensed teams. So Celtic against Johnson is the best fixture pretty much. Well, it is 2.5 XG and 55% clean sheet percentage. No real surprise there. I do think Rangers against Hibs is a good fixture for Rangers. I think Rangers are playing at home. Being back at Ibrox probably a plus point for them as well. Hibs not been great this season, but yeah, they're capable, so we'll see what happens there. Salzburg against Austria Vienna, 2.43 XG, 37% clean sheet percentage, really low. Dynamo Zagreb, I don't trust at all. I mean, they've been absolutely Johnny Rotten. So yeah, I mean, it should be a good fixture for them, but they've been getting hammered left, right, and centre. So if you've got those players, you're going to play them obviously, but we'll see. They could turn up. And then we've got other ones here coming up, like Cologne against Karlsruhe. Cologne obviously are in Bundesliga too, so fun team. Maybe expect to score a few goals, but not keep a clean sheet. Anyways, on to predict or fight. Hopefully you can still see me okay. In fact, I'm going to move myself. No, I'll leave myself there. It's quite hard to know what part of the screen to be in for all these different things. But anyways, I'll move this down a wee bit and hopefully you'll see me a wee bit better. Just above Ida with the header. Anyways, people are wondering what these services are. The spreadsheet I'm using, the Google spreadsheet, is from Sorare Probabilities. S_probabilities on Twitter. Can get a free trial of that if you want. It's specific to my players, but it's not been created by me. I'm not going to take the credit for that. And this is Predictory, which is obviously a predictions website. As a paid subscription, but I'll always be discussing the Celtic lineup on here as part of that deal. So, Celtic against St Johnstone, really good fixture. St Johnstone are a bit in disarray. They're just sacked Craig Levein. You might get the new manager bounce, I never know. Kasper Schmeichel, so he even played in the cup against Falkirk. Sinisalo was injured actually. So he's nailed. No real surprise there. Greg Taylor, again, pretty similar. He was left out in the cup just to be rested. Valley played. I thought he was actually okay, but there was a couple of moments where he got involved and people are sort of attributing the goals to that. But one of them I think was a foul, and it was his debut as well, and not playing with full team either in terms of the other players. Liam Scales I think is really nailed. Playing very well at the moment. No news of any injuries. Looks like he's training as at the time I record this video. Trusty over Carter Vickers, obviously a big call. Got Trusty in at 60%. The issue is that Carter Vickers was left out again at the weekend. I've done my research, and as of like today and yesterday, Carter Vickers is still in a protective boot for his ankle, and there's some reports saying he might even be out for Dortmund. I just don't really think he's a viable pick for this weekend. Again, Trusty you might regard as more of a sort of risky one, but Trusty is a lot cheaper than Scales and Vickers, and if you've got one kicking about, you might want to run it as a differential. But again, the other question is, Trusty's more left-footed. Would Stephen Welsh play there? I think if you ask Celtic fans that, then they'd probably just punch you in the face. So there we go. That's the answer to that. I mean, I wouldn't want Stephen Welsh in there. I'm not the manager right enough, but yeah, we spent $6 million on Trusty, so if Vickers isn't fit, then I think he'll come in. Alistair Johnson, 95%. Again, he was rested in the cup. Ralston played, but hopefully with a view to getting him back for these games. Again, I've gone in at 95%. There's a game against Dortmund Tuesday night. I suppose there's potential still for rotations, but there was heavy rotation in the cup, and the manager took a bit of the blame for that, so we were 2-1 down. Then he put on some of the big guns. We'll come back to that in a wee minute, but we won the game comfortably in the end, but it wasn't comfortable up to 50 or 60 minutes, and Falkirk were really good. Cal McGregor, 95%. Again, he played the cup game as well. He gets a rest every time Scotland play now, so I don't really see there's any issues there. The other two positions, more interesting. Arne Engels again came on and was absolutely brilliant. One of the assists for the goal, which I think Kuhn scored, was a really, really good pass. Again, nice long pass. I think he'll start. I mean, he's, obviously started a couple of games now. Brilliant in Champions League last time. I think it's more favourable towards him starting, and then maybe getting his minutes managed for Tuesday night rather than the other way around. Rio Hatate, I've got 75%. Again, just weighing up the risk. Hatate wasn't really very good in the cup game. Doesn't really seem to be firing just now. Bernardo was excellent and he scored, so you may well see a change there. You may well see Hatate playing and maybe Bernardo for more of his defensive work starts in Dortmund. Anyways, I will be back from vacation, I think Monday afternoon, and I should get preview up on Monday night of the lineups for Dortmund as well. Frontline wise, Dyson Maeda was completely rested. Forrest didn't really play that well. He's doing pretty well as an impact sub these days though, so I think that Maeda should start and perhaps his minutes will be managed, but he's already had the rest in the cup. Nicholas Kuhn came on and in 30 minutes he had 2 goals and 2 assists. He was unbelievable again, honestly, changed the game, come on at 2-1 down, and Celtic were absolutely flying once he got going, so can't really see any other scenario other than him starting. I don't know why he wouldn't start. The only potential reason would be just to try and keep him fresh for Tuesday night, but we're in a championship race here. Aberdeen, our main rivals this season, it seems, are going to be a tough nut to crack. They've won every game so far, so, there's no room for slip-ups, I don't think. The other contentious position is Ida and Furuhashi. Ida started in the cup. That was mainly for minutes and to get a rest into Furuhashi, who was on the bench. I don't think he even came on at all. It's an interesting one, but I do think that Ida's going to start more away games. Certainly I do think that if Furuhashi starts, that Ida will come on later and maybe vice versa as well. And then it will also be interesting for Dortmund. But again, that's not really a game that Celtic stackers will be targeting. Champions League finalists last season. Yeah, I mean, you might stick a team in, but it's more hope than expectation, I would have said there. Furuhashi, I guess, could start there just on the grounds of counter-attacking pace. Maeda, Furuhashi and Kuhn would be really good in transition or counter-attack. So anyway, coming to the notes, I have put a few notes in here as well. Celtic play away to the Saints on Sunday night, and that is wrong. It's not Sunday night, it's Saturday night. So I'm going to have to update that now. I will update that after the video. It's not Sunday night, apologies, it's Saturday night. Then we've got a tough trip to Dortmund on Tuesday. Carter Vickers, CCV's a huge doubt, we mentioned that. Hatate wasn't that good against Falkirk. Bernardo, I think, will come in one of these games soon, whether it's the weekend or Tuesday night. Ida was in really good form, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him starting again. And Nicholas Kuhn has been excellent. Set pieces, Engels, penalties at the moment, Engels, although you have to be aware that Ida also takes penalties, so that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Engels was given the penalty over Rio Hatate, but Ida is a forward as well, so need to be quite careful on that. I think Engels just being on set pieces is obviously a huge string to his bow as well. So anyways, let's have a look at the overall players that I've got in my own gallery. So again, in this spreadsheet, one of the really, really useful things is you can just break it down to your own players. So Kasper Schmeichel, no real surprise to see him up there at the top end of the projections. Project score 100. I'm not sure if he'll quite get to 100, but there we go. Anyone else standing out there? Luis Maximiano, I don't trust him at all. I'm actually going to Almeria at the weekend, not to see the game, do some social stuff, play golf. But if I see him, I might track him down, give him a good kick in the balls because he's been shit. Anyways, Etienne Vastenstein stands out there, could be quite an interesting one for the Eredivisie special, which I'm not playing myself. Alison Becker, will he be back for the weekend? Nick College there in the 74 as well, quite interesting. Again, this just set to All-Star just now, and will filter down as we're picking teams. Trusty estimated 100. I don't know where that comes from because there's not much last 15 info for him. It's probably just based on the fixture more than anything. Who else standing out there? Formos Mendy, hopefully he'll be back in, put in some really good AA from the bench midweek as well. Kai Wagner projected 80, always quite high up. Alistair Johnson up there in 80. Say Carter Vickers potentially won't start, which is interesting. Jan Nicholas Beste, again, he's not really nailed his place back in the team for Benfica yet. Carrera started the last one. Don't think Luke McCown will start. I mean, I'm not really giving him any real percentage to start in the projections. I guess he could. He never played in the cup game because he was cup tied, but yeah, we'll see. Apologies for the marginal disruption. There's some gremlins in the sheet. I didn't press in. Usually it's my fault because I'm bad at pressing the buttons. Michael Elise up there, he's been absolutely superb. Well, he get a 90 against Leverkusen. It's going to be a fun game, that. Jens Peter Hauge, pretty high up there as well. Ezequiel Barco's been brilliant. And Russia, and we've got Arne Engels. Obviously, everyone's cottoning on to his ability now. Forward-wise, Max Bayer for Dortmund might get a start. Jakob Andreka has been really good. He's one of the guys I picked up sort of with a view to this season with Antwerp sort of selling on some players, etc. And he's been really good. Inigo Vicente at home's always huge. Always does very well. We've got Luis Suarez there for Inter Miami. Interesting. Johnny Russell as well, higher than normal. George Elenikena, I can't really say that right. Really good for Monaco. Scored a really good goal in the Champions League as well. We've got a Simhin there who isn't cheap, but probably worth the money now. He's at Galatasaray. And we've got like Mo Salah up there as well. Right, so we're going to actually pick some lineups now as well. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to play and hopefully win again. The reason I've got myself up the top here is because this Discover All Competitions button always gets in the way, so hang on a minute. I do apologise for jumping about in the screen, but yeah, if I'm up there and I'm in front of Discover New Competitions, then I can't get into the new competitions, which is a pain in the ass. Anyways, so let's see what we've got on the weekend. We have the Animated and the Holo Edition competition. So if you've got an animated card, you can play in limited, rare, super rare, etc. The good thing is, it's cash, right? It's an all-star format, so $1,000 for first and limited. Rare, we've got, I think, $1,500 for first. Places down to $100, so $20 down to $100. Super rare, $2,000 for first. The only downside is you're playing against everybody and you're playing against all of the classic cards because you put in one animated or holo edition, which are the special editions, then the rest can be anything else. I will have I think a team in this, and let's have a look and we'll see what we're putting in from the perspective of Celtic, I think. So I picked up this really nice special edition Engels. So again, by playing that qualifies me to play. Look at that, it's a beautiful card, isn't it? I say the good thing is you can play like more of your sort of classic cards with it as well. So for example, you just do an also, you play a Cezinha or whatever with it. So I'm going to leave that just now. I'm not going to pick it just now, not because I'm holding anything back, just because usually I pick my Celtic in-season cards first, and obviously as part of that I've got to use like my sort of Kasper Schmeichel cards, etc. as well. I don't have much in rare, and I don't think I've got one in super rare actually, who is Amad Diallo, but I'll hopefully be looking to sell him on just to take a bit of profit on there. On classic side of things, we have the again the animated competition, the special, which is the Eredivisie special. Then we've got All-Star opened up here as well. So sorry I have listened a wee bit. I think people are just saying, look, there's no All-Star this weekend. You play an animated card, okay, you can play your classics with it, but not many people have got animated cards, so they've listened. So we've got an All-Star, and that's an All-Star pool with 3 stars in limited. We have 1 star in rare, and in super rare we have a tier 1. So again, it's a wee bit lower in terms of the tiers and things, but it's because it's the sort of catch-all all-star competition there as well. It's big games, so we've got like obviously La Liga. Mbappe's injured, isn't he? He is injured, right? Anyway, let's pick some teams. So first and foremost, usually I'll pick obviously my in-season stuff, and we've been discussing Celtic a lot, so we'll have to go into Celtic Glasgow as we always do. So Kasper Schmeichel's going to go in. I'm getting quite far up there now in terms of the XP and everything, which is really good. This is a special edition, but just as opened as one, so that was a really sort of nice touch there as well. Again, I could play it in that other competition with cash, but in this competition for contender, you're talking about $1,000 for first, which is quite similar, but you're only playing against contender leagues. You're not playing against all-star cards, so they've got to prioritise this. So Liam Scales going to go in there as well. 2024. So again, I'm going to use Engels in here. On sets, etc. I mean, his average not went up there yet, but that's because he's a lot of sort of lower average. He come on as a sub and everything for Belgium. And also, as you see, I picked up a few of them. Now, I picked up a few of these cheap, so I don't want to seem as if I'm bragging or anything, but if anybody kind of listened to me, then hopefully did, then I was always quite strong on him. Nicholas Kuhn, again, the Furuhashi and Ida thing, I think in a main team, I'm going to avoid just now. And then Carter Vickers against questions, so it's going to be basically Alistair Johnson or I think Greg Taylor. Could play in our midfield as well, could play like Cal McGregor, etc. I think I'm probably just going to go with Alistair Johnson. Again, he came out as a special, so I got all my luck in the specials in the limited sphere. I'll review that. I mean, I do have a spare Liam Scales, which I don't know. I mean, they'll want to put it into that other competition. Maybe. But we'll go for Engels captain in the main team. So that's my sort of, I think, my preferred team. Just checking the spreadsheet again. So let's filter this down to contenders. See what the projected scores stack up like. Always quite interesting just to check that. So Alistair Johnson 80. Don't know where Liam Scales is actually. That's a weird one. I don't know why he would be so low against St Johnson. 62. Interesting. I don't know why that is. One centre back is, one centre back isn't. But anyway, got to trust the data, I guess. Engels up there with an 82, and Nicholas Kuhn 68. So yeah, I think that all stacks up pretty well. And that's I'm just admiring that for a minute there, just because I'm a Celtic fan, and I love the look of these cards. I just think they look absolutely brilliant, honestly. That's just my wee gripe with the UI as well. It's taking us back to the right place now, so that's good. I just want to double check in case there's any promotions or relegations, but I think they've been sorted out because unless you're playing contender midweek, which I'm not actually, so that's okay. Discover new competitions. What will we do next? So again, I'm not picking all my Celtic Rare ones and everything, so it'll be largely quite similar, really. So let's do under 23s because that's a fun competition that everyone really loves playing, and it's always a main focus of the channel as well. Under 23s just pretty much for fun more than anything else, but yeah, obviously building up a lot of essence and everything too. So under 23 limited. I remember Benfica got quite a good fixture, so I think he's probably going to be going along the lines of using Trubin in here. So 61, interesting. There are higher ones, but nobody is really that reliable. And Brandon Lazawa, okay, he's projected 83, but clean sheet percentage is 16%. I don't think so. So, first team. So I think we're going to go with Trubin here. I think that would be the natural solution. Antonio Silva was good last time, so I'll pick him this time, probably rubbish, but it's nice having a defensive stack, and it's quite unusual to have a defensive stack in under 23s, so there we go. Who's showing up high in terms of, so midfield wise, Elise against Leverkusen, a really interesting one. Guess I could play an Arne Engels in here. Orkin Koksu, yeah, this is pretty much getting like a Benfica stack into the 23s, which is unusual, but also pretty welcome as well. Just because it's quite hard to get that sort of certainty around like players and get a mini stack. And then forward wise, Andreka, like that's a kind of a standout one there. Cole Palmer, interestingly, I could use him here rather than using him in Chelsea. We'll come back to Brighton in a minute. Ida's an interesting one. He could be in the mix there as well. We've got Musiala. Quite a tough game, you know. I do expect there to be sort of goals there as well, and I think that, you know, there wouldn't really be much wrong with doing that, right? Just going with like Fitz and Musiala and just saying, all right, it's a top team and we'll hope for a few goals. I mean, it is a tough game, but would you really put it past Fitz and Musiala to be scoring goals? Like, Leverkusen have been conceding a lot recently as well, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Musiala captain because Bayern have been scoring a lot, so I've got this sort of nice solid base behind the two absolute ballers, and they are. Let's pick the first team for under 23 there as well. I'm trying to go through limited and rare and keep it as relevant as I can for everybody. Obviously, you know, sometimes I pick the super rare ones first, which is just my way of doing it because obviously you can play players down the scarcities and things as well, but I want to make sure it's relevant. We lost one of the under 23 Division 1 entries, so that was a shame, but it is what it is. If you're playing midweek or whatever, you're always a wee bit susceptible to that. So is there anybody standing out at rare level? Senna Lamans stands out a wee bit. That's kind of interesting. Wusso Duro is always one I would use as well. Again, I think I'm probably going to go for the Antonio Silva and Trubin combination. I do have a 12% Trubin, which is really, really good. A great card to have, that I've always sort of stuck with. Again, I can use Coxia in here as well, but I do have... sorry, wrong button. I do have a Musiala mid card I could use, for example. I could use an Arne Engels in here. Coxia is a 78, so I might go for a kind of variation here and use Engels as well. So, and I don't really need to captain Big Orkin as well. Let's see a bit. I've got a few rares, right? So this gives me this flexibility. So let's see what I've got. Yeah, it's interesting. So I've got, 2 rares. I've got more limited options. Probably now I've got 2 Schmeichel. I want him for a Celtic stack. So I'm going to be using the super rare. Do I really want to drop down the other super rare? Interesting. Such a good fixture for Celtic, right? So I just kind of want to go quite Celtic stacky. Musiala. Is there any other forwards sticking out here? Could go for the home win, I guess, and go for Andreka as well. Probably regret that, like Jacob. Yeah, he's playing against Beershot, right? I mean, that's a really good fixture at home, so it's a bit of a differential, and I quite like this as well. I mean, you know, Varts away at Bayern Munich, Andreka at home, Beershot as I call them. It's not a bad decision, I don't think. Interesting, I'll have a bit of a think about it as well. Let's have a look at Brighton, because we're doing Brighton to glory, and for a bit we were just basically in frickin' Brighton, weren't we? We were just in Brighton, we weren't anywhere else. So we've got some Chelsea players here as well. It's interesting strategy wise, what do we do? Do we just run a Chelsea stack and just run a Brighton stack? So, you know, Verbruggen 55 estimated score, Robert Sanchez 66, understandable. Guys like Sugawara up there, Levi Colwill, obviously at home. I'd like to see Kadioglu getting in. Van Heck on 53 is quite interesting. Caicedo's been excellent recently. Pretty interesting. I think they'll rotate a bit in the Europa or the Conference League. Sorry, not the Europa. So, Premier League. We've got Brighton and we've got Chelsea and we've got the EPL extras and we're all in Division 4. So, firstly, I think I'm going to pick the Chelsea line up first, right? Let's do that. I think that Chelsea at home at Brighton's a better fixture than Brighton have got away at Chelsea, if that makes sense. It can still go either way. So Robert Sanchez, an obvious one. Levi Colwell's been really, really good. I guess Cucurella is quite an interesting choice at home as well. Certainly very capable from an AA point of view. I think from Brighton's perspective, João Pedro looks like he's out, so that's a bit of a blow for them as well. Interesting. What does the sheet say about Cucurella 62, Colwell 58? It's quite close, isn't it? It's quite close. I'm going to go with Colwell, just as a personal choice. Caicedo's been excellent. I guess Enzo at home's a wee bit interesting one. I think that when Brighton get everybody fit, obviously with Matt O'Reilly and everything back, do have some good players in there, guys like Baleba, Ayari, Hinchell even played in there as well, but Caicedo's been excellent, and we got quite close to what worked well for Chelsea last time. Nicholas Jackson looked really, really sharp, and my sort of differential is Jadon Sancho. He's been playing well already, which is really good. And I suppose a wee bit more of a risk in terms of game time, etc. Caicedo to put in a good performance against his former club, or do we go with Jackson or Sancho? I'm going to go with Sancho, right? It's Division 4. We'll do it. It's a bit of fun. Let's do it. We'll just play Brighton again. So if we go back down to Division 5, we go back down to Division 5. I mean, there's always going to be difficult fixtures. I guess I do want to protect those divisions as well, because I want to be up there as high as possible when we get to the stage where we're playing, maybe Southampton at home or whatever. No offence to Southampton, but that's the game really. Martinez is Ipswich, so we'll do a bit of a mixed team. Obviously, in the other EPL one, Orange Champ, which I think is Division 2. So, anyways, it's partly a bit of fun. So let's do it. So Van Heck's been really good. I've kind of got to go with him. Matoma's well capable of running right against anybody, honestly. So I've just got to go with him. And with the up front, I mean, Minty was rested the last game, and João Pedro obviously is injured. So I think he kind of came back and then got another injury, which is a bit of pain in the backside. So I go with Big Danny Welbeck. Again, the extra one's going to be interesting. I'd like to see Kadioglu getting games soon. I don't know why he didn't feature last time. It'd probably just been eased back after the injury, etc. So could they go for a double defence, which would be quite brave. I guess the defenders are more likely to put up a bit of AA. I mean, no offence to Nicholas Jackson, he's blowing quite hot just now, but can blow quite cold too. So maybe Big Van Heck gets another sensational clearance off the line or whatever, and we managed to get promoted. But there we go. What can we do? Let's filter it to classic champion, and we'll see if we can pick a lineup there as well. So I don't have much out with that. That's the only thing. So champion limited 2024-25. Still on the wrong page. It's a great link, that, isn't it? Anyway, I'll shut up now. Don't want people thinking I'm just a moaner. I do give lots of praise as well, right? But often I do make my thoughts clear on feedback and things. So, right, Division 2. So that's a wee bit higher up. If you look at the difference, $700 for first in this division. So, definitely worth playing. And that's what I like about having the collections, because, still got some good options left over. So I think I'd probably go Martinez against Ipswich. I think that just makes more sense. Ipswich are pretty handy as well, but Flecking at home at West Ham's, you have an argument for Flecking. Just from a point of view of Brentford and conceding a bit more, but I think he should get some AA, and that's 44% clean sheet, 53% for Martinez. Quite a polished team, Aston Villa, and Martinez puts in some good scores, so we'll go for that. We haven't used Vardyl yet. Again, Champions League games coming up. Will there be some rotations coming in there? Interesting. Sugawara, again, Southampton just not been keeping enough clean sheets. He's been putting in some good scores though, so which is quite interesting. Porro at Man United, again, is interesting. Big Tozen's a reasonable pick as well. Moritz Gent's starting to play a bit better. Going to go with Cucurella. Just think he's quite a good candidate to get some AA in that game. Just realised I've left Cole Palmer out of the Chelsea stack. Anyway, just had an epiphany there. I could put him in here. That makes sense actually. I wonder why he didn't show up so high up there. Yeah, so Palmer forward card there, and I guess that gives me some more exposure to Chelsea at home, which is probably a bit better than going Brighton, We're doing Brighton to glory and everything, so there's a bit of a reason behind that as well. we've only got kind of Division 2 left in under 23, so I don't mind using some under 23 players in here. Anyone else sticking out here? João Neves, pretty good option, I guess. Big George. Kleindienst with an 83, that's kind of an interesting one as well, right? Brian Mbeumo. I mean, West Ham have been absolutely Johnny Rotten. In fact, I might even go as far as, that's another special as well. It's a shame, I guess I could have put him in the special competition, but we'll still have some options for that, I guess. Do we go Michael Elise? Nice decisions to have, by the way, so I know I've spent a good bit on the limited stuff now. Like, it's not as if I've got like gazillions of Real Madrid stacks and Man City stacks or whatever, but it's fun, right? It is. Sometimes it's about prioritising a bit of fun. I'm going to go with Elise, because I think that's right, and I'm going to go with Mbeumo captain. That's a brave one, I guess. We could easily go Cole Palmer as well. I think that's a really strong team. I mean, Mbeumo's on like the sets and the pens, right? And West Ham have been absolutely terrible so far. I mean, Chelsea went through them like a hot knife through butter. So, I think from that point of view, he would be one of my tips. Not really showing up so much in the spreadsheet, but bear in mind that Tony used to take the penalties and everything, so he's definitely a good option there, and I quite like that lineup in general. It's looking good. The cards are looking amazing, honestly. Like, they're just looking so good. Not just the special edition ones, but just generally speaking, I think they're looking absolutely superb. So I've only picked 6 lineups there. You see, I've got a potential 69 in terms of previous ones, so I've got a lot of Celtic lineups and everything to do, but it is what it is from that point of view, and I think that 36 minutes is probably enough, in all honesty, to finalise. So wish everyone good luck, obviously, for the weekend. We will be back at some point soon with the rare craft on Essence, so we're at 483, tantalisingly close to that. I've had lots of feedback from people say, I've only got that guy, it's only worth 20 quid, and why don't you just keep pulling tier 5s and things? I do get that, but I'm just going to follow my own strategy for now. I think that's the strategy I'm going down, and we'll see how it plays out. We might decide to change the strategy later on, but sometimes people maybe just got to accept that different people have different strategies, different patience levels, and you might want to do like 10 tier 5 pulls and have a punt at getting a star rare, but I'd rather have the certainty of getting a higher tier card. The guy I won, the goalkeeper, I will use in contender. I've got him for the whole season, so might be selling for 20 quid. I don't really care. I'm not selling him just now, so if he was worth 200 quid, I might be selling him, but you get the point. Anyways, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. A like or subscribe is much appreciated, or if you see this on socials like Twitter, then please retweet. I think that Twitter is kind of shadow banning links from other sites, so it doesn't always get much exposure itself on Twitter or X itself, but the videos are getting lots of views, and I'm really happy with that. I'm away on vacation. I'm going to enjoy my weekend, watch Celtic game with a few beers. I hope all you guys have a brilliant weekend as well. Good luck, and go fuck.